leagues over the sea I sail, couched on a wallowing dolphin's tail. The sky is on fire, the waves a sheen. I dabble my foot in the billows green. In a seaweed hat on the rocks I sit, where tern and seamew glide and beat, and where dark shadows the cormorants meet. In caverns cool where the tide's awash, I sound my conch to the watery splash. From out their grottos at evening's beam, the mermaids swim with locks agleam. Mermaid by Walter de la Mare. Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. I am really excited to be unboxing my very first deck from Indiegogo. I've backed plenty of Kickstarter decks, but this is my very first deck that I've backed on Indiegogo, and it has come a very long way. As you can see, all the way from Thailand. I think I backed this deck first in April, and it is the Healing Waves Tarot by Nawan Junharsiri. Here are a couple of things I got in the box. Now, I just really want to tear into this deck. I'm really excited about it. Beautiful production value. It's a two-piece box with watercolor art, watercolor aesthetic, thumb cutouts on the sides. So beautiful. Yeah, so far so good, you guys. So pretty. And it really feels good in the hand. And I think the back of the box reflects the back of the cards, if I remember correctly. We'll soon find out. Yes, I was correct. So beautiful. And the box itself does feel like it has a rose petal coating. Now, I'm measuring this up against my standard RWS yellow box card. It's the exact same size. And I think even like the same corner rounder, same size corner rounder was used. So yeah, for those of you who have small hands like me, you can see where it falls. It does have a rose petal finish and coating to it, but it feels a little bit thinner than some other decks. And it is edged in a matte blue. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I didn't know that this was going to be the case, but I'm really happy about it. All right. I think what's in store now is a musical flip through of the cards. So we'll do that, and I will meet you on the other side.
I could never get enough of this old piano. Or the crashing sound of the breaking waves down here. Now I've been sitting here most of the day. Don't know why it's so hard to tear myself away. I can almost hear the ocean talking to me, saying, what are you waiting for? When life is an open door, it would never as I can. Sure could use a word of advice. Just see things clearly, now wouldn't that be nice? Dear ocean, won't you talk to me and say, what are you waiting for? When love is an open door, yeah, what are you waiting for? 'Cause it would never get easier than this. It would never be more difficult to miss. So what are you waiting for? Oh, it would never be easier than this. Never be more difficult to miss. So what are you waiting for? Life's an open door.
At this moment, no one can tell where we should go or what's coming. We thought we had it, the truth about our common soul, that it was fantasy, nothing to put belief in. As soon as we saw the ocean, we knew what we had become, defying our own emotion, pretending land was our own. We couldn't embrace the notion that we were meant for something more, something beautiful, something beautiful. At this moment, it's time to tell where we should go. But how can I be sure? Can we change it? The truth about our common soul. Say we know it's real, something to put belief in. As soon as we saw the ocean, we knew what we had become, defying our own emotions, pretending land was our own. We couldn't embrace the notion that we were meant for something more, something beautiful, something beautiful. As soon as we saw the ocean, we knew what we had become, defying our own emotions, pretending land was our own. We couldn't embrace the notion that we were meant for something more,
enjoyed the musical flip through of the Healing Waves Tarot. All right, I'm just going to give these cards a little bit of a shuffle. And yes, these cards, they are, I think, what you can term a rose petal finish. I mean, they are buttery, buttery soft, but they're not as thick as some other decks. I've got the Star Seeker Tarot here, and it's got that buttery, smooth cardstock. And we're just gonna take, yeah, the coating is the same, but the Healing Waves cardstock is much thinner than the Star Seeker Tarot, or something similar like maybe a Dark Mansions Tarot, or any of the other indie decks that have, a 330, 350 GSM with this laminated UV coating. Some people call it a rose petal finish. This is buttery smooth and the coating feels identical, but this deck is a lot thinner and easier to shuffle than the Star Seeker Tarot. Now let's just compare and turn them on their sides so you can see. Yeah, you can see that the Healing Waves deck right here is not as chunky as the Star Seeker Tarot. And, this has 79 cards. And this one has 79 cards as well. The Womb is the extra card in this deck. But as you can see, this is a chunkier deck. So the coating feels identical, but the thickness is not the same. So this will be an easier deck to shuffle, that's for sure. Now I'm just going to flip through these cards again as I speak with my impressions and my thoughts. I think this is a beautiful deck, a really, really beautiful deck. Now, if you are not inclined to like animal decks, there's mostly animals in this deck with a few mermaids, a few people or humans depicted, but largely it is an ocean animal or, ocean animal adjacent deck, as you can see from the lizards or salamanders and the large amount of turtles in this deck. I think it's beautiful, a beautiful, soothing and calming deck from the color palette. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of vibes. If you saw my Mara Loon Tarot unboxing, this is the kind of calm I'm getting off this deck as I got while flipping through that deck. It's sad that it's not available, and I'm not sure. I don't know if this is going to be a one and done deal, but I think this would be a wonderful deck that should be put out into the mass market. Oh, I love this card, the Queen of Fire. I can't remember the name of this little creature, but I think it's on the endangered list. I think it is. Leave the name in the comments below if you know, and also if it is indeed on the endangered list. I think this Nine of Air is just heartbreaking. To me, it's the losing of a habitat, a losing of a home. And that is just, that's not imagined. That's something real that is happening, and this one breaks my heart. But a lot of these cards are just light and beautiful. But there is enough light and shadow in this deck, and I think it would be wonderful for any kind of a reading. I think it's weird that we put limits on ourselves. We do, and I do this too. I love this. how we have decks for shadow work, and how we have decks that we use at certain seasons. And no, there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, I think a deck, for the most part, with, you know, there's always exceptions to the rules. For the most part, our decks can be used for, you know, any reading that we need them for. And if you are a professional reader or somebody who reads for friends and family, quite often, you know, our decks, you just really need one deck, and it can serve the purpose. But I am getting calming vibes from here. I think the artwork is beautiful. Now, one thing I will point out, and let me get this, pull out this card or this card. I don't know, what does it look like to you? Does it look like the borders are a little off center? It seems like, at least in this card, it seems like this edge is more narrow than this edge. What does it look like to you? That would be my one gripe with the production value of this deck. They really didn't need to put these borders, you know. It would have been, it's perfect, borderless. I'm glad though that it's a nice kind of unobtrusive border, but some of the cards seem off center. Now, this edge on this card, on the devil, seems smaller right here than this edge, but then the two of air, this one doesn't seem as unbalanced or off center. But like I said, it's not like glaringly noticeable, because they are delicate borders, and you know, it does get kind of taken up by the artwork, and definitely it's more noticeable in some cards than in others. But let me know your thoughts, if you're seeing that too, or I could just be imagining it. But yeah, here again, I think, see, there's more space over here than this side. This is one of the lighter cards, but it's not, of course, not a deal breaker, and it's an indie deck, and I think, you know, with a small budget to work with for an indie creator, I mean, the deck is beautiful, from the box to the cards, the artwork. This star card is everything. So let me know in the comments below what you're feeling from seeing this deck. I first saw this deck when Lisa Papez a few months ago had about 20 prototype cards that the creator had sent her, and I fell in love. I love this extra card. I fell in love with it, and I did go back and forth because of the high shipping, whether I was going to back this or not. And I had backed a few other things at the time, so my budget would only allow me to really get the deck. There were some spiffs that were offered, you know, a beautiful velvet bag, a beautiful metal box, I think a hardcover guidebook. This is another card that's heartbreaking. This, because of the egg instead of a heart, it really speaks to me of disappointed hopes. Putting all your eggs in one basket or one nest, and just having your hopes dashed. Something about this solitary egg with the swords through it really speaks to that to me. So I just pulled up the guidebook really quick, and I'm just going to flip through it really quick. I do wish I would have gotten the hard book, because I think there was an option for that, but it wasn't in the budget. So this will have to do, but I'm very glad that I got the deck. So you get keywords, you get a few sentences or a paragraph, and you do get reversed meanings, and then a little description. So for the Fool, it says, in this deck, the Fool is illustrated as a man jumping off the cliff into the ocean. The depth and the endlessness of the ocean is completely unknown. I like that. I like how she goes over what's being seen. and her kind of interpretation. So let's see, for the magician, right under the magician, it says the magician is a symbol of those who master their craft and use their power for the creations. The magician is achiever, the master of elements, and a great communicator. As above, so below, and as within, so without. This card represents a connection between inner and outer worlds. When you draw this card, it indicates that you have abilities to reach what you set your intention for. Knowledge is the key to success, so use it to turn the situation around. And then she, a reverse, she has arrogance, mental illness, ignoring your own values. And then it says, in this deck, the magician card is illustrated as a scuba diver who is equipped all the gears. I think the creator meant equipped with all the gears. One hand is pointing to the world above the ocean surface. Another hand is holding the light. For the minors, you do get reversed meanings and upright keywords, but you don't get, the artists, in this card, their explanation. So you don't get that for the minors. So one thing I'm a little bit disappointed in is that there are no spreads. No spreads. This is the end, page 98. It's 98 pages, so here we are at 98 of 98. So it would have been nice to have a few spreads, but that's all right. But you do get a nice colored picture in the book. So if you got the hard guidebook, and I think it's larger than the deck, let me know in the comments below. So that concludes my first impressions walkthrough and unboxing of the Healing Waves Tarot by Nawan Junharsiri. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'd love to hear all your thoughts. Now, I think that this deck is a wonderful deck if you like animal decks, especially if you are drawn to water energy like this Pisces girl is. I think it has beautiful, beautiful artwork. I'm really hoping that someday in the future, this will be brought to the mass market. I think it would be a wonderful deck to be brought to the mass market, particularly because I want a deck with a guidebook that fits inside the box. I think the production value is wonderful. I love the watercolor art. I love the calming, soothing energy of this deck. It's right up my alley. It may not be up everybody's alley. I'm sorry if, that this wasn't a larger campaign and that it's not available now, but maybe if we all do some heavy manifesting, it can be brought out into the world for the masses, because I think it would be a really great deck as a mass market deck. I really, really do. As with always, I want to hear your thoughts, and I want to thank you for spending time with me. If you found any value to this video, please consider hitting a like, a subscribe, and with that, I will leave you to get on with your beautiful day. Bye for now.